Greetings and Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. We're going to take a deep look at, the Fitbit Sense. What do you mean that's not the Fitbit Sense? Of course it is. It's just in a special housing. Check this out. We are going to talk about all kinds of different band options today as well, starting with this one, and a few more will show up throughout the video. I'll give you more background on that in just a little while. But now, let's put back the original bands. There we go. The Fitbit Sense now comes to us from Amazon. You can pick this directly up from Amazon.com, and please use the link we have in the show notes because that'll take you over there to this buying page, and we'll get credit for your purchase. It really helps us out here at the channel, especially when these things are running about $280 or so. Why would you want to spend so much on a fitness band? We're about to show you. We looked at this before when we did the overview of the Fitbit Sense, and I'm going to just show it to you again on the screen so you can get a feel for it. It does some amazing new things we haven't seen on bands before, and it does the normal things that we do expect from a band really, really well, considering that it has onboard GPS as well as all of the different fitness activities. You got to twist your wrist to light it up, and a variety of different watch faces which we'll go through. We looked at all of these different things. You can turn on a night mode, which is what I do. The sleep mode makes it dim and sets it up so that when the screen goes off, it stays off. Otherwise, you can actually have it set so that when it goes off, it will go into an ambient screen. And there's several different watch faces that do that. This one's really special in that it shows your last night's blood oxygen average level as well as the range, low and high. Uncle Tix needs to work on his snoring a little bit because 95%'s a bit low. I'd like to see it up about 97 to 99. Beyond that, I got a bunch of apps in here. I got stock apps and I've got special apps. We're going to walk through them and show you how each of them work. The first two we want to look at are probably the most esoteric, the EDA Scan, and way over here, the ECG. Now, I prefer actually to have these both on the front screen, so I'm pressing and holding on this one, and I'm going to put it right up, where you want it. Okay, how about there? We'll have EDA here and ECG. What did I just do? All you got to do is press and hold and move any icon anywhere you want. Now, if that's something new that you haven't seen before, then I got a special request for you. Could you please share this link with your social media? tinyurl.com/FitbitReviews. That's how Uncle Tix keeps this channel going, is by your viewership and your friends. So if you learned something just now, take a moment, tinyurl.com/FitbitReviews. It'll really, really help me out. I gotta boost up my viewership, folks, or we may not be here this time next year. All right, there you go. We've got these two to take a look at. The EDA Scan. Now, I'm going to show you how it works first, and then we're going to talk about it. You tap it. It comes up and it says you could do a quick scan for 2 minutes, or you can go into guided sessions from 1 to 60 minutes. We're just going to do a quick 2-minute scan, and the process is simple. You take your hand, your open hand, and you calm your mind, and then you just touch the screen and keep still. Now, of course, I'm not going to keep still. I'm going to keep talking to you about this. EDA is electrodermal activity, and there's a way that you can find out all about this. Guys, Google has bought Fitbit, and there's a lot of research going on in the background. What I'm doing right now is just the very, very basic beginning. When my 2 minutes are up, I'm going to show you a place you can go called google.scholar.com, and you can search on the information we're talking about here and bring up all kinds of articles that not only talk about EDA data and EDA sensory processes that we're getting right now. By the way, I'm waiting for it to vibrate. Yeah, you can't see the screen when you're holding it like this. And when it does, I can reveal today's score, and of course it will transfer to the app as well. So the electrodermal activity is used in all kinds of different ways, and now it's been implemented in a smartwatch. Okay, we are done. It was vibrating, all done. I hit the check mark. It ran down to 0. That was the time. Thanks for taking the time, you bet. Thank you guys too. I could hit log it and I could reflect on how I feel. I'll just skip that. That would be calm all the way up to heavy duty stress. And it says, way to go. I got 2 out of 5 days scanned. My EDA responses, 21 total. Start 4665. That's the 2-minute. And that's how many changes in the dermal vibration. And I think the lower the better. You can learn more about it. My heart rate went from 94. I get a little worked up doing these reviews. Down to 82. I can learn more on that. And then there's heart rate variability. My baseline that it's determined is 61. And during this session, it was 18. Now, typically, heart rate variability, the bigger the number, the better. You want actually there to be more change between your heartbeats than them to be regular. I know, sounds odd, but you're more stressed if your HRV, heart rate variability, is low. We hopefully are going to be doing a whole lot more discussion about heart rate variability later. Reflection is where I would have put in stressed, not big stress, but a little stressed. And again, I get a chance to log it right here. Helpful tip, check in with your body, heart, and mind. Does anything feel different? And you can open Fitbit mobile app to learn more right there, or hit done to get out of this. So I'm going to go in and log it. Second opportunity to do that. There it goes. And I'm going to say stress. Not very stressed, but it's a little stressful right now. And there's everything, and say done. Now when we get to the app, and that'll be in another review, it's taking a little while to respond to me, we'll go through the data that we just accumulated there. By the way, in that upcoming review, we're going to be covering the data that you collect free. And as you know, these guys have got a premium program. We're going to later sign up for the premium and see what additional data you're going to get there. So you can decide whether or not after your 6-month free trial, you want to spend $10 a month for the additional data. Okay, that, folks, was the EDA scan. Now let's talk about ECG. Going to be a long journey today, but this is what you're going to find here that you're not going to find anywhere else. Honest to goodness, I'm going deep with you. Let's start, before we actually do it, to look at the watch. The watch has a very wet and dirty back to it, but this is a metal plate, okay? That's one lead. The body itself has 2 metal plates. You see the separation right there and right there? There's a metal plate there and a metal plate there. Now that makes 3, but one of these is a ground, the other one's positive, and the other one's a negative, and that makes it a single lead ECG device. We're going to put it back on, and we're going to do an ECG. Now, the sad news on this is you're not going to be able to see the results. You'll kind of see the ECG behind your fingers and stuff, as you'll see in a moment. But when it's all said and done, when you go to the app, there's no place to actually see the ECG. You have to go into an export function to send it to your doctor or yourself, which is what I did, send it by email to me. So I'll show you a copy of that here in a second. I'm going to tap ECG. It's coming up. It's saying to put my index fingers right here on the opposite corners. Now, if I had it on my right hand, it would say use the other 2 corners. That's pretty cool. It knows, well, once you say which arm you're on, it knows which corners you need to touch. It's only 30 seconds, and you see the beating heart icon or thing going on in the background there. If I wiggle it, it messed it up. You saw that. Now it comes back blue. It knows when it's not solid. It knows when you've been bad. It knows when you've been good. And it's going to get you a good ECG reading. When it gets down to 0, it says data has been collected analyzing it, and from here it will tell you one of two things. Either you have normal sinus rhythm or you don't. And if you do, it says still, if you're not feeling well, you should deal with that. And it cannot detect things like heart attacks, blood clots, stroke, or other things. It's a pumping issue like AFib or atrial, what's it called? Not fibrillation. It's a metronome kind of thing where it's beating really, really fast. Anyway, I'm not a doctor, obviously. By the way, when it goes to sleep, if you have it set up for that, it'll just show you the time. You flip it, it'll come back. You can learn more by hitting that, or you can hit done. Okay, ECG scan, ECG and EDA scan, and now the technical stuff. But first, a reminder, please share with your friends, tinyurl.com/FitbitReviews. It'll take you to a folder that's got all of the reviews I'll be doing on Fitbit watches, starting with this one. And we already have two. This is the third going up. So, back to the EDA. I mentioned that we could get into detailed information if you go to scholar.google.com. This is a screenshot of my computer page. When I go there, just look at some of the titles that come up. We're talking about analyzing EDA for psychological experiments, techniques for parapsychological purposes, electrodermal activity data, measuring consumer emotions. Can you see already that this is just the beginning of what could potentially be huge? Imagine that you'd be able to just touch your watch and gain access to all kinds of things, including construction workers' perceived risk on the job. Yeah. So I clicked on the first one and I brought up this, and it's an overall, you can freeze frame this if you can't read it fast enough, or just stop your YouTube and read it right there. It's a good description overall about what electrodermal activity is about. And of course, now that we have Google with their billions of dollars teamed up and overseeing and funding Fitbit with all of their research and development, this is going to go far. Yeah. So that's that one. And then the ECG. Remember I told you there were three leads, one of which is a ground, and then the others are positive and negative. That makes scholar.google.com, a search for single lead ECG, produce results like this. Now you should get the same things or similar when you look for this. And on some of my earlier videos, when we first encountered these ECG readings on watches, I listed a couple of really good documents and some videos that explained how it's done. You don't need a 5 or 13 or 500 lead hookup to get a basic ECG. You can't read everything, and a lot of it is kind of crude, but it can detect things like irregular heartbeat, which is what's just starting to show up in these watches. Okay, those are the first two of the apps we want to cover. Now let's run through the others. Assistant is either the Google Assistant by the icon you can see there, or Alexa if you set Alexa up in the app as your assistant. One or the other, but not both. When you tap Today, you get into I'm off screen because it preps it with your name and everything, and I'm in my actual account here now. That's at the top. You get into a synopsis of what you've got today. These are my step count, heart rate, calories burned, floors walked, distance traveled. There's a thing called activity zones. I got 6 out of 22. I've done 2 out of 5 days exercise. We just saw that. And each of these you can go deeper into, like last night's sleep time gives me awake, REM, light, deep, all kinds of goodies there. We've got hourly activity, and every hour you're supposed to walk 250 steps, and at 10 minutes before the hour it'll tell you how many steps you got to do. Menstrual health, which you can set up if you're a female, or if you're a guy with a partner, you can put her data in there and kind of know when to bring home flowers, that kind of stuff. You can log your core body temperature, which then will tie into the deviation in temperature that the app will collect based on nightly readings of your overall temperature. So the today is really, really powerful. And that's the 4 things on this page. Ready for a break? Let's change bands. I want to show you how easy this is. We just simply press, out it comes. Press, out it comes. So which one you want? Want to do something playful? Okay. Straps Co. is a company bringing us these various straps that we're going to play with here. I'll tell you how you can get them in just a minute. And they're one of our sponsors, so every little bit helps. If you like a band, we're going to give you a link that you can go in and pick it up, and that, again, will help us out here. So the top is always the one facing this. Now look at this. There's a special little adapter on here that will adapt to this watch and offer a quick release. So once you buy one of these that has the adapter on it, you can immediately take this off and change it for any band that will fit. So the top is always going to be facing the buckle. You want to flip it over. You want to flip the band over so you see the quick release tab here. You slide it in and it immediately locks in. Do the same thing with this one. Make sure the quick release is facing up and it's upside down. Boom. In. Done. Simple. Slap it on. Tighten it up to your preference. And you want it to be a little bit loose, but not too loose. This is very pliable, very comfortable, really good for sports and activity, and sharp. Look at that. So where do you get these? I know you're wanting to know. Straps Co. has all kinds of bands for all kinds of watches. Basic watches, Fitbit, Apple, Garmin, you name it, general purpose. And in the Fitbit bands, they've got them for the Sense, the Versus, just about all of them there. So when you go in and look at the Fitbit Sense, which is what we're reviewing, they've got different categories: rubber, metal, leather, and more, in all kinds of colors, all kinds of sizes. And they're available through Straps Co. It's Straps Co. and Dasari are the brands that they use. And if you'll use this link, tinyurl.com/StrapsCo, that'll take you over, get you right in the front door. Mr. Tix 10 gets you a 10% discount off of your purchase. And if you buy 2, you get 1 free, and that promo applies as well. So that's how you pick up one of these cool bands that you're going to be seeing today. So let's move on to the next set of apps. Okay, one last thing on the ECG. Remember, I told you that it produces a chart in the app, and I wanted to show you a copy of it. It's a 1-page chart like this. It actually has your name, your birthday information, and height and weight, maybe all that kind of stuff is in here. It shows you your average heart rate over the 30 seconds of the ECG, the report on whether it's normal or abnormal sinus rhythm, and here is the actual ECG chart. And what's really cool about this one is it's marked off in seconds. So if you have an issue, or you're studying, for example, a heart rate variability, here's a great example. Look how wide that is, how narrow that is, how average that is. Those are similar. This represents a large heart rate variability because the differences are big. If they were all identical, that's low heart rate variability and tends to mean you're more stressed. So the more relaxed you are, the more it's going to look kind of like this. And you've got exact second marks with the deviation marked here, or the divisions, and you can add up the number of squares and figure it out. Really, really cool. Gives you your 30-second ECG, and even if it messed up along the way, it seems to self-repair and throw out all the garbage so that you, your doctor, your health provider, your meditation physicist can give you a reading on what this may mean for and to you. Here's the specifications about how it works, and some more information down at the bottom. So you don't see this in the app, at least not yet, but you do see a way of exporting this to PDF, sending it to yourself, saving it to your phone, whatever you like to do. And of course, it's dated and timed so you can have separate ones as well. Really, really fun. That's the ECG part that we looked at right there. All right, now we move into exercise, settings, alarms, and timers. These are really simple. Set a new alarm. We simply tap new alarm. We set the time we want. Let's make it 1:10 p.m. so we can hear it. Tap here. We come over. We can turn it on. There's the time. And Smart Wake will wake you up during your sleep at the appropriate time so that you're not jarred in your awakening. I don't want to do that, of course, because we're wide awake right now. Every day, Sundays through Saturdays, done. We just want to do one of them. Oh, I had one set already for 1:08. And there's 1:10, and the current time is 1:07, so we may have 2 alarms go off. So that's the alarms, and we'll see what happens when it hits there. Look at that, my heart rate's 101 right now. I am pumping on this review. We also have timer, so you can, it's alarming right now. 1:07 p.m. it says look alive. I did not make a sound. Now remember, this thing does have sound capability because you can make phone calls or receive phone calls on it. And I'm interesting that you didn't have an alarm sound, but that might be something you can change elsewhere. We can have a countdown timer. We can have a stopwatch. We can add timers to it. Let's do the start watch and hit start. And okay, there's the 1:08 p.m. alarm going off. I was trying to figure it out off camera before I showed you guys on camera, and I didn't know that it actually set them. So we got a lot of different things. We're still waiting for 1:10 to happen in 2 more minutes. This is kind of a lame stopwatch. It doesn't have split times, it doesn't look like, and it just has a reset button. But it does stay on there, and we have a countdown timer. I can add a countdown timer of 3 minutes, and that has started as well. So we've got a countdown timer and a count up stopwatch happening and an alarm ready to go off in a little bit. While that's happening in the background, let's look at exercise. You come in, you've got your 2 most recent things you've been doing, which for me is just a basic workout that I'm after my heart rate versus time versus calories burned, that kind of thing. And then you have other things like a walk that you can put in. All of these are different ones that you've got. Now, things like biking and walking and whatnot involve GPS, and so it's going to connect to GPS. If you're indoors, it takes a while. If you're outdoors, it's pretty quick. Time's out as usual, and when you're ready to go, you can just hit go. But if you want to set some other things, like start with a goal, you can have heart rate notifications on when you're exceeding a certain heart rate. If you're doing laps, you can do that. Manual, auto count. You can show different stats. Oh, it just vibrated. You can have distance, what you want for your top, middle, and bottom to be displayed on the screen. You can change those. You can show the GPS on here. All these things always on display. Back to the top, and then we come down, and then we're there to start a bike, and you see GPS is connected. That's what that vibration was about. So you have boot camp too, which you have to read up on that one, and circuit training. Elliptical, golf is in here, hiking. There's interval workouts, folks. A lot of folks are really wanting to set up intervals. I'm not going to go into a lot of deep detail on that, not on this video, but you can set that all up. You can do kickboxing and martial arts with this watch. Pilates, a basic run, spinning, they're all alphabetical. You've got a stair climber. Swimming now, because this is waterproof, gives you, again, pool length things, laps, whether you want it manual or auto, what you want to see on your display, always on display if you want it. All of that's available. And of course, that'll use up your battery if you do that. Tennis, treadmills, weight, even yoga, back to the top, takes us to our 2 most common ones. You can pick one of those if you want to. And later you'll find you can put one of them or all 4 if you have 4 different ones in the button here. So watch this. Come back to me. I want to be back at my time. I just press and I'm back at my time. I'm going to double tap, boom, boom, and I have this set so that if I tap this button, it immediately starts a walk. It doesn't just take me to the walk and then I have to do to start. It starts it. So a double tap and I select that one and I'll go right into a walk. Here's Maps. Here's my Google thing, and here's Payments, which I still have yet to set up, but you can put any 4 apps that you want to on there. Time is up, and that must have been the 10 minute or 10 after alarm that we set. Or it was the countdown timer. I think that was the countdown timer because the 10-minute one, 1:10, already went by. And that's all of the exercise portions. And then finally, in settings on this particular tab, this is where you have lots of control over things. You have maximum, normal, and dim. You have 3 different levels of brightness. You have your screen wake capability, button only, or twist your wrist to light it up. And you have a timeout that you can have how long it'll stay on before it goes into the always on display. And for me, I'm going to raise that puppy now because we're in this review up to 60 seconds, so it's not going to be timing out on me all the time. You have the always on display capability that you can turn on or off. And again, when you go to bed at night, as you saw at the beginning of the review, you could tap that one button and it'll automatically turn that off for the duration that you have it that way. And when it is off, you can have either an analog or digital screen shown in the screen in that always on mode. All right, we'll switch it back to analog. Take a look at that. Now, after display, we get into vibration and audio. This is how much it's going to vibrate on you, light or strong. I like the strong. You have a microphone that has to be enabled, of course, for calls and things like that. Your overall Bluetooth that you can connect wireless speakers or headphones to listen to the music stored on this watch. Now, that's an interesting thing because we're not sure about music stored on the watch. There were some bloatware apps that are on here. I call that because remember from the phone era where they put a bunch of apps you don't need or want on there? They have Spotify and Pandora and Deezer, I don't know, maybe a couple of others that are music streaming apps that you could tie in with the watch, and as long as you're connected to the internet, you could stream that. Connect your earbuds to the watch through Bluetooth and play your music that way. But I don't know about music stored on the watch. If anybody knows about that and how you get it on there, put it in the show notes. I haven't figured that one out yet. No device saved. That would be for the Bluetooth earbuds, I think. And then you can manage your devices, which is where you set that up. Music control and on-wrist calls allow watch to control the music playing on your phone. You can do that. Or take calls if your phone is in range. Now that gets us to Bluetooth calling with this watch. It's kind of a misnomer. It's Bluetooth communicating. You see, as far as I know, and maybe it'll be updated, there's no phone book, there's no dialer, and there's no way to call out from the watch to your phone and out like a normal Bluetooth calling process would work. However, if a call comes into your phone and you have it all set up for that, you can answer with this watch, and you can speak into the microphone and hear it from the speaker or the earbuds that are set up with the watch. So it's great for answering incoming calls. And playing music that's on your phone, streaming through your watch or through your earbuds if you decide to pair your buds to your watch instead of your phone. You could do either way if you're doing that kind of playback. Anyway, that capability is here. Sense controls, you must go to your phone's Bluetooth setting and pairing for sense controls, see instructions. So that's another whole area too. We're going not completely through everything here, but quite a bit. But check that out in terms of sense controls. Maybe that's a chest strap for heart rate. I'm not sure. Goal reminders is where you set this stuff here. You can set active zone minutes if you want to get reminders of your progress towards your weekly goal. You have quiet modes for do not disturb. There's a focus mode that mutes notifications and calls during an exercise session. If you have that turned on, they won't come in. You have your overall do not disturb that mutes notifications and calls when that is turned on. But if you really want to be able to receive emergency calls, you leave that off. Vibration from alarms won't be affected by that. Then you have the sleep mode, which mutes notification calls, and it won't disturb your sleep. And you could have that turned on as well. Otherwise, when you're in sleep mode, it's going to dim the screen. It's going to make sure it doesn't turn on when you twist your wrist, but calls and notification could still pop through. I don't want that, so I'm going to turn that one on. Didn't even get to that part yet. Vibration from alarm. Oh, no, that turns it on immediately. Notice how the screen went really dim really fast. All right, I guess that's independent if you want to turn it on there. And you can do a schedule mode for vibrating alarms that won't affect you if you want to set that up for specific windows of time. We have shortcuts. These are the things that I was talking about. You can set it up to press and hold, and it'll do something, whatever you decide you want to set in that particular button. And you have the one that I've set for that is called GPS speed. I'll be reviewing that when we talk about specialized apps. And then you have the double press thing, and you can turn that on and select 4 different apps and where you want them for the double tap thing that will activate them. And remember, I set walk to be my top left, and it goes immediately into the walking thing. We do have NFC and capability for Fitbit Pay in this watch, and if you have that set up, you could pay right at a terminal with this watch. Really sophisticated watch. So that's shortcuts. You have either Google Voice Assistant, or you can switch it to the Alexa, and I don't see that switch here. I'm using Google Assistant, but it's supposed to be able to do Alexa as well. Wow, every time I touch it, it takes it a while to come on. I'm not going to touch it anymore. There, it toggled over. Okay, so the voice assistant is set up for Google Assistant. But somehow there's a way you can get Alexa on here too. I think maybe you have to have it on your phone and be tethered to your phone for it to sense that. And About Sense, this gives you the device information, your MAC address and stuff, regulatory, factory, reset, and erase everything if you're going to, give this away or sell it or something like that, and then shut down the watch completely. And that, folks, is everything that's in the settings. We've covered all 4 of these. I think it's time for a band change. There, how's that? A nice leather band, looks really cool. Yeah, where do you get these? Once again, it's from Straps Co., and we have a direct link called tinyurl.com/strapsco. Go in that way, and any of these that you'd like to purchase, make sure you put in the code Mr. Tix 10. You'll get 10% off. If you pick up 2 of them, you'll get 1 free. And I still got another band to show you, so you might end up actually doing that. And one more time, please share this with tinyurl.com/fitbitreviews if you're learning things today, okay? We were at this screen, and now we come over one more screen. I got weather, a relaxation thing, agenda, and wallet. Now, I'll tell you right off, we're not going to cover these 2 today because it takes special setup for agenda, and, of course, wallet. You got to set up credit cards and all that. So hopefully we'll do those in the future, but I can show you weather and relaxation. The relax is easy enough. It's a simple little guided breathing thing. You can edit this if you want to and change the duration, turn off vibration if you want to, and basically hit start and guide your breath up and down, up and down. It's different than the cup your hand 2 minutes, okay? So you're getting a whole different type of an effect, but it is another aspect of mindfulness in terms of wellness. Now, in weather, when I go in here, you get the weather in your area, which is listed across the top just above here, and, of course, temperature in centigrade or Fahrenheit, whichever you want, your chance of participation, your precipitation. People learn English from this channel, so I got to make sure. Participation is what you're doing with me right now in watching this review. Precipitation is the little droplets you see me spitting everywhere. They're 2 different things. 25% chance I'll spit on the screen. Here's the forecast for the next few days. Partly showery, whatever. You can tell from the temperature range that I live in a very nice, warm place. A tropical rainforest, actually. And that's it for weather. Okay. Just one more page and then one more band to show you. Stick with me, gang. We've done this. We will do these two over here. I've got clocks, I got coach, and I got find my phone. When I tap this one and I hit the find phone, you hear that? That's way across the room. So that works. When I hit coach, I go into a few videos. Now, there's actually a Fitbit Coach app, at least for Android, that you can download. And I presume you can go in. It's just showing 3 of them here, but you can watch different coaching videos. You may get more with premium. Not sure. It doesn't ask you for that here on the screen, but it might when you do it in the app. ISS Tracker is something completely different. That's a separate app. That's one of the 10 or so that I'm going to be highlighting in another video of my favorite free apps. You don't have to pay for any of the ones I'm about to show you. They're awesome. But the last of the stock apps is clocks, and these are your watch faces. And you have a selection of 5, I believe, that you can actually put on the watch. And then, of course, from the app, you can download any of the ones that are listed there and replace any of these basic 5. So just to show you, this is the one that we've been using here all along, and it's got all kinds of good things on it. Your step count, the seconds counting out, the time, the date, heart rate, blood oxygen, all those things. Come back over here to clocks. I'm going to switch you to another one and show you that this is their special blood oxygen face that they made specifically for this watch. It will get your heart rate, and you can literally change these screens, step count. This is your goal for your special number of not steps, but the category that they've got. And here's your last night's blood oxygen stuff with time and date and things like that on it. It's calculating all of that, but that's what you get on this watch face. Definitely fitness focused, especially if you're going to be monitoring your blood oxygen. As I understand it, this is not live blood oxygen readings right now. This is last night's blood oxygen average. So it's not as good as a watch that could really read and monitor your current blood oxygen to tell you if you're over-exercising or something like that. I really would prefer to see that. But at least you're getting a reading, and the watch is producing blood oxygen results. Then we have a nice analog watch with a minute indicator in the middle. And I really like this because when I glance at a watch, I generally know what hour it is, but I'm not too sure about the minute. So it's 48 past, 2? Okay, it's almost 3. That's in here. And that's a fun one as well. If I press and hold on here, nothing happens. So you can't change clock faces by just simply pressing and holding, but you can through the Clocks app. And a couple more. Here, this one's fun. I like this one. It's in text form. It was 3:48, right? But this tells you, it's about 10 to 3. And you got all of your other information down here, 86% power. It's a little bit off the screen because it was made for a Versa watch rather than this one, and this one's a little bit scaling differently. They need to update it, I guess, to get it all to fit, but it does work pretty good. And let's just do one more, and then we'll be out of here. That's the talking one. There's the blood oxygen and that one. This is pretty okay. This is the one we've been using before. Let's show you that one. This shows you that you can actually have animated graphics in a watch as well. If you look carefully, you'll see that center snowflake thing is going through an animation. It snaps and then starts over. It's not been seamed together very well. They could have done a better job. But you do have animated GIF kind of activity that you can put together on a watch. All right, I got one more band to show you today, and then we're going to wrap this whole thing up. Oops, I haven't walked enough in this hour. I'm supposed to do 142 steps, but you know what? I'm going to contribute those to you guys and just sit on my the back part of my body and continue with this review, because at 10 minutes to, they give you that notice about how many steps you need to go to meet your quota. This is a beautiful metal band from Straps Co. It's got a great release mechanism like this, and really easy to adjust this section up and back by lifting that and moving it to fit your specific arm. And of course, it's super simple to put on. We just simply release the old one here and here. We take this one, and I always get it backwards which one goes on top. I'm gonna guess this one this way. I may have it backwards, and if I do, it's okay. We just do it the different direction. There we go, and now it's on. Oh, look, it switched to a different. Oh, no, that's the ambient one, right? This is what it goes to if a watch face doesn't have its own ambient mode and you have the always time turned on. That's the analog version of it. We set that earlier in the settings. And if I activate it, we come back here. So I pop this open. I slide my hand through. And, of course, you just adjust it to you. And there we go. There we go. Sweet, huh? Again, I already showed you. I'll tell you one more time. tinyurl.com/Strapsco with an S. Strapsco. Take a look at all of these. So we've been through the various apps in here all the way up to the stock ones. There's a few stock ones I've moved off of here because I'm not using them. Starbucks, a bloatware in my, I mean, if you use it, that's great. But if you don't, it's just been put on there. They've made a little money from Starbucks, which has helped get your costs down by letting them put that on there. Pandora, whatever. The streaming apps, you've seen those before. They're all on here too. But the nice thing is you can delete them from within the app and put your own apps on here if you want. And like I said, I will be showing you more apps. I have a couple of more pages of some of my favorite ones coming up soon. That's about it, gang. One more time, for those of you still with me. The watch itself, it's the Fitbit Sense. You can pick this up through Amazon. We appreciate if you use the link in the show notes. Head over there to pick this up. And about $280. It oscillates a little bit, but it's basically whatever price it is at Amazon, it's the same everywhere. They're really tight on controlling cost. But if you use the link I'm giving you, it does give me some credit on that, and that helps keep this channel going. So that's to get the basic watch. To watch the reviews on this, just come on over to tinyurl.com/FitbitReviews. Please share that in your social media so we can pump up the number of folks that are watching the depth of reviews that I try to do here for you. And of course, Strapsco, you can pick up the any of the straps that will go along with this watch, or an Apple Watch, or a Garmin watch, or an Android watch, you name it. They're all over there at tinyurl.com/Strapsco. It is the Fitbit Sense, and lots and lots of capabilities on here. Notifications show up there. When you swipe up, you get all of your core stuff listed here, advanced stuff, guided breathing. There's your EDA quick scan right here. Shows you your results from your last one, I guess, and you can set up a new one. All available right on the watch. It's a very, very sophisticated, advanced fitness smartwatch, and available right now. So check it out, gang. And we'll see you real soon. We're going to go over the app next. I mean, in detail, of all the free stuff you get before you join the program for the premium. I want to wrap up one loose end I wasn't sure about, and that's whether you could put your own music on this watch for playing offline, since you can Bluetooth tether earbuds to it. It turns out, answered directly from a Fitbit moderator on the Sense, you cannot do that. However, if you want to pay for a subscription to either Deezer or Pandora, those services will allow you to download music and store it to the watch, and then you can play it back without needing your phone or an internet connection. Not true with Spotify. You'll still need to have your phone with you, or somehow be in a Wi-Fi zone when you're exercising, somehow connected to the internet to stream Spotify, but you can download music from Deezer or Pandora. So if you have subscriptions to those, you're good to go. But if you're hoping to put your own music on your own watch and listen to it through your Bluetooth headset, Not going to be able to do it. When you go into your system setup, you notice that you have 2.5 gigabytes of available storage on the watch, but you can't get to it unless you go through Deezer or Pandora. That's the way it is. Hopefully that'll be updated in the future, especially if you guys want access to your own music. It just takes adding a music app and the ability to tie this to a computer, show up like a hard drive, drag and drop your music into the watch, and it'd be perfect. But for right now, you got to go the subscription route. All right, now we're done.